Martin. And again, just echoing Martin's thoughts, thanking everyone for making the time to come on. There's a few who've been on before, made valuable contributions, and I'm really excited to listen to some of the experiences and knowledge that some of the other guys have got, like Adam, Jones, new into coaching, Sean Long going from rugby league to rugby union. So really excited about hearing your journeys and your transitional pieces. As with Andrew Coombs as well, Andrew going from playing into business, and retaining a link with the game through his commentary and punditry. So I think we've got some really good guys on today with some great experiences. So just a little bit of background of how I sort of spoke to Martin and Tim about World After Sport. I saw it on, I think you saw it on social media, started having a chat with Martin. And what I liked about the initial things that I was reading and seeing and discussing was supporting the players, basically. And that's always, been important for me, whether I was playing as a captain or since retiring, coaching. But then I started thinking about coaches. What sort of support is there out there for coaches? It's okay when you got a job, it's great. And it's okay when you're going through your formal coaching education, doing your badges with the RFU, WRU, Scottish Rugby Union, South African Rugby Union, whatever it might be. That's pretty straightforward. But what happens after that in continuous professional development for coaches? Again, it's easy enough when you're in a job, but when you're not in a job, but when you're transitioning between jobs, what type of support is there? And that's an area Martin and I have chatted about, and Tim, to see if we can support. Hence these type of webinars that we're trying to build, trying to add experience and knowledge, like we're going to do today. So what I thought I'd do is we themed this particular webinar in respects of building high-performing teams to be competition ready. And I'll just share, one slide for context, not to impress anybody, for just a bit of context of where my journey's taken me over the last 25 years as a coach. And also just a clear why, what, how we've used over the years in terms of how we build sort of, as I say, high-performing teams who are competition ready. There'll be a few examples from my Namibia days, which Johan was very helpful when he was commentating and giving me intelligence on some of the other Africa teams who were qualifying or trying to qualify for the World Cup at the same time as us. So if I'll just go through the slides, there's only 5, as a few anecdotes within them, and then we can perhaps discuss and other people can share their experience and knowledge. There's no rocket science, as I say, but it just gives you a flavour of the journey and the experiences I've been, lucky to go on, really. So if you bear with me, I'll just try and share my screen. Right. There's a few of these boys I've been lucky enough to share this journey with, Tim being one of them. But it's just that's my journey really over the last so many years has been amazing, really. The big thing that I've really enjoyed is playing and coaching in over 20 odd countries, I think, particularly the last 5 years, being with Namibia through a World Rugby consultancy. And that's been amazing. I've been at Worcester, so I've coached in the English game. I've been very lucky to do that. Coaching in the Welsh game, and obviously coached in the Africa Cup, Nations Cup, and the last 2 World Cups. And also went over to France as well to coach with Richard Hill as an assistant coach as well. So it's been an amazing journey. And I suppose that just gives a little bit of context of what's been going on with me over the last few years, albeit very brief. But it's been an amazing journey, which I'm very lucky that it's continuing. When we're looking at the process of building high-performing teams, this is what I've learned, really. It's important to make sure that the team is competition ready. I know that sounds obvious, but when I first went to Namibia, they said to me, I said, "What's your ambition?" And they said, "Oh, we want to win the first game of the 2015 World Cup." So I was quite pleased that they had a bit of ambition. But then I said, who's the opponents? And I said, they told me the All Blacks. I said, well, right, okay, well, that's a little bit unrealistic for Namibia, a part-time team, to try and beat the All Blacks. So that's when we started looking at the idea of being competition ready. So we came up with a term, Tier 1 Test Match Ready. and we looked at the statistics or what that meant, which was say 40 minutes ball in play, for example. And then maybe in club game was about 26 minutes ball in play at that time. So we basically, along the 4 years, we went about closing the gap between 26 minutes and 40 minutes. And you'll all understand, hopefully, what I mean by that. And this is, the way that we've I've learned to do it. Have a clear why. So, it's something that why people get out of bed in the morning, and it's got to represent, inspire and excite the people. And again, I don't think I'm talking any rocket science here, but, representing the key stakeholders. In Namibia's case, it's the country. In Leeds' case, it's the city of Leeds, it's Yorkshire. In the Scarlets' case, it's the town of Llanelli, for example. And then having an aspiring pathway so people can see how they can get from A to B, basically. And then, the inspiration and the excitement comes from, getting a clear purpose and a unified purpose in order to get people, out of bed in the morning or want to come to games to watch. And one of the big things for us at Leeds back in the day, as some of the boys on the call will remember, with the family support was very important. I think one of the best things we ever did was create a creche on match days back years and years ago. And that was a really popular thing with the wives for obvious reasons. And it really engaged, was one of the things we did with the families, amongst other things we did without the families. As Snaves will know, that was good fun. So for me, it's important to have a clear why, a purpose of why you're putting this team together and what you're trying to achieve. The what of it, for me, this is just my coaching philosophy, if you like. It's about being people-centered.